When I started advising companies I'd invested in after selling Bottle Keeper, I kept seeing the same pattern. Brands running Facebook ads at a super high ROAS, like an 8, and they're still losing money, hemorrhaging capital every single month. And the reason is they're not driving enough total revenue to create enough contribution profit to pay for their fixed expenses. These things like payroll, rent, tech subscriptions, all these costs that exist whether or not you make money. And if you're not familiar with contribution profit, it is the magical metric. Contribution profit is equal to your revenue minus all of those sales related costs like cost of goods, shipping, fulfillment, credit card and Shopify fees, and ad budget. What's left contributes to the business. This is what pays for those fixed expenses. If you have more contribution profit than fixed expenses, what's left is your net profit. So contribution profit is the thing we need to grow. It's the answer to the question, are the changes we're making working or are they not? And where this can get confusing, but it's really important to understand, is that there's an inverse relationship between your ad budget and the ROAS you need to hit in order to get to break even or hit your net profit goals. Meaning the less you spend, the higher your ROAS needs to be. And at super low budgets, that number gets into territory that nobody is going to be able to hit. I'll give you an example. I had a brand come to Pentane. They had set their ad budget at $25,000 because that's just what they felt like spending. That's what they were comfortable with. When Pentane ran the math, their actual expenses in QuickBooks, all the stuff that goes into the system, it actually showed they needed to hit a 9.76 return on ad spend just to get to break even at that ad budget. And in the last 30 days, they were operating at a 3.91. So 9.76 was completely unrealistic. This means that the whole system was set up for failure before it even started. They were handing their ad agency 25 grand and essentially just saying, do good. But they got their P&L a month later and they lost money. Was that the agency's fault? No. They had built an ad budget on gut feel that was completely unrealistic. There was math involved, but nobody knew how to do it, so they didn't know what the outcome needed to be. So this changes the question from how much am I comfortable spending on Facebook to how much do I need to spend in order to get my needed return on ad spend in a range that we can actually hit, that becomes realistic. For that same brand, Pentane showed that they needed to spend about $58,000 at a 3.45 ROAS to get to break even. This was definitely more achievable, not super easy, but it's at least in a good range for their agency. And better yet, their agency now actually knows what good means. They've defined it. There's a line in the sand and it's 3.45 ROAS. You need to know that number so that you can build towards it. You can create structure around it. And so you can pull in all these other levers in the business that you have at your disposal to try to bring that needed ROAS down, what that minimum needs to be. And that's what we'll go into next.